The Houston Cougars closed out one of the best regular seasons in school history in style today.
Gresham with the dunk.
Conference champs and ready for more.
We know we have accomplished a good bit, but I mean, we still have a ways to go, so therefore we have a lot of work to do.
And I go one-on-one with head coach Kelvin Sampson.
The school that was the most persistent and I thought needed me the most was the University of Houston.
And the Rockets' roll continues, barely.
Brunson got it off, it was blocked! Chris Paul with the block at the buzzer, and the Rockets survive.
With 16 games remaining, is a top 2 seed still realistic?
It was already a wild week in the NFL, and tomorrow, free agency talks can actually begin. What will the Texans do? Anything?
Time to speed into Sports Sunday. It all starts right now.
Live from KPRC Channel 2, this is Sports Sunday.
What a celebration for the Cougars. Hi, everybody. Welcome into Sports Sunday, second week of our brand new 11 p.m. slot. We know you're staying up with it. We appreciate it. Coming up later, a lot more with the Cougs here in just a few minutes. Randy, Adam, and Laney all in the house tonight.
You win, you get to celebrate like that.
Yeah, I think they enjoyed pouring that on Coach Sampson a little too much, from what I hear.
I think he enjoyed it, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was dancing around and everything. Hey, let's get right to it. We're not going to waste any more time. U of H trying to win the outright AAC regular season championship against the 19th-ranked Bearcats from Cincinnati. Back and forth first half. Freshman Nate Hitton, what a year he's had, knocking down the three to tie it at 27. Both he and Corey Davis Jr. super hot from beyond the arc. Cougs led at 37-35 at the half today. Second half, Cougars go on an 11-0 run to take the lead. Fabian White Jr. with the slam.
Depth of Houston been one of their biggest weapons. 32 points off the bench today. You know Jajon Dereau is a big part of that with the jumper.
And Corey Davis Jr. had 31 all by himself today. That's a career high. Incredible performance from the senior. They win at 85-69.
We were so locked in, razor sharp focus on the game plan. You know, Cincinnati, they're a great program. They got a great team, great discipline, you know, great players. And, you know, we felt like we played harder than them. And if it mattered more to us, then we'd win.
I'm just so glad me and my brothers get the experiences. I mean, we've worked so hard throughout the summer and just the season in general. So, I mean, just getting to this point was just absolutely amazing.
Step one, the regular season. Now next up for the Cougars. They're the 1 seed in the conference tourney, so a bye till the quarters on Friday. They'll get the winner of UConn South Florida. They went 3-0 against those teams this season. Conference probably gets 4 teams to the tournament. Cougs probably have to beat 2 of them to claim the tourney title. And of course, Selection Sunday matches up with their title game on Sunday.
Yes, the Cougars may give themselves the night to celebrate. They're probably out right now celebrating. But already today, as soon as they arrived back on the bus, they were looking ahead to what's to come. And sure, this was a big accomplishment, but they want more in the conference and the NCAA tournaments.
We're not going to settle. We're not going to be satisfied with today. I mean, we played well. We beat a good team on the road. So, I mean, we just have to come in, focus, and get ready for our next matchup.
This season over, and now we have the conference tournament. Everybody's on level playing field. I mean, if you lose, you go home. And we're not trying to go home.
Well, by this time next weekend, Kelvin Sampson's Cougars hope to be celebrating an American Conference Tournament championship and the countdown to the return trip to the big dance. The state of this program, we all know it's a far cry from where it was in 2014. The road back to being a relevant program began with the arrival of a man who embraced the challenge. Kelvin Sampson arrived at the University of Houston facing the biggest project and revival of his storied coaching career.
When the Big 12 decided to expand and didn't take Houston, I think that started the downfall because now we had no identity.
Before Sampson even considered taking the job, he had questions he wanted to ask. Big questions.
And I sat down with our administration and said, what is the goal here? You know, and this is before I even took the job. What is the goal? What is the end game? Where would you guys like to be? And automatically they said they want to win. Okay. Well, how do you expect to win if you don't change? Every 4 years you fire a coach. So what's going to be different? What are you going to do different? It starts with you. You know, coaches and players win games, but administrations win championships.
And you'd been at great programs. You'd been in the NBA. Why'd you know Houston was where Kelvin Sampson needed to be?
Well, it wasn't so much about University of Houston. It's more important to me. I wanted to coach with my family. I wanted to coach with my son, and I wanted my daughter to be involved in our program. And that could have been anywhere. But the school that was the most persistent and I thought needed me the most was the University of Houston.
What Sampson has done since stepping foot on the U of H campus has been nothing short of miraculous. He got through that first season in 2014, and since then the Cougars have been on the rise. Yes, you've got to have the talent, but it also begins with facilities. Now in place, the Guy V. Lewis Development Center and the posh Fertitta Center. To Sampson, it's all been a game changer.
But the key guy, the number one guy in this whole thing was Tillman Fertitta. I don't think we're where we are without his commitment. You know, and I told people last year wasn't going to be the best year we've ever had in Cougar basketball. We're going to get better. This year was not going to be the best year. I think we can continue to grow our program because now we have a chance to recruit good players. And you can't do that bringing them to your office, showing them pictures. You can't.
Now here we are, March of 2019, 5 years into Sampson's remarkable rebuild.
Not in a million years do I think we go 13-0. But I never thought about going 13-0. That's never been my mindset. You know, I'm not a fan. I'm not a media guy. I don't sit here and then evaluate after every win. If we do this next, it's the moment. Mm-hmm. I've always been able to stay in the moment, and then you keep your team in the moment.
Is that even more of a challenge as a coach when you're on that kind of role to not let the guys get overconfident, keep them grounded?
Yeah, and everybody thinks that. I mean, you know, there's no original ideas. Everybody says, well, you can't let them do this. You can't let them do this. You can't let them do this. You know, your first thought is, really? You don't think we haven't thought about that, or you don't think they haven't thought about that? And that's not easy to do.
His Cougars, on the verge of 30 wins, have proven to everyone nationally and even here in Houston that this program is back and only getting better.
Do I think we can play with these teams? We can play with anybody. You know, we've proven that. We're getting good enough to compete with other teams nationally. Now, are we as good as Virginia? I don't know. We'd have to play them to see. Are we as good as Duke? I don't know. We'd have to play them to see. But I think we're in the conversation now, and that's something that, as a competitor, we're proud of.
Sampson was courted heavily by the Orlando Magic last year, and his name again is being mentioned with potential college openings. This much is clear. For Sampson, it's all about faith, family, and U of H.
But there's a reason I stayed here. And I've learned over the years that you don't mess with happy, and I'm happy.
Really enjoyed the conversation with Kelvin Sampson. He told me the best hires he's made since arriving at U of H were adding his son Kellen to his coaching staff and his daughter Lauren to the program as the social media and marketing coordinator. He and his wife are very happy, and his Cougars now turning in one of the best seasons in program history.
Yeah, that was Friday. Rockets taking down another title contender in the Sixers for their 7th straight win.
Well, then I guess that would make tonight's win an 8th straight if they could get it. And they were in Dallas. James Harden aggressive to the hole early. That's 2 + 1. They were up 5, but he was in trouble later. How about just before the half? That's an offensive foul. You've got 4 fouls, James. Let's go to the start of the third quarter. Another offensive foul. 20 seconds into the half, and he's sitting down. No problem. He finished with 20.
So the Rockets leaned on Eric Gordon, and boy, did EG deliver. 5 threes and 26 points. Rockets held on to their slim lead. Then in the final seconds with just a 1-point lead, you saw what Chris Paul did. Big block right there to secure the 8th straight victory for the Rockets. 94-93 the final.
Right now, the Rockets, the hottest team in the NBA, just 2.5 games back of the Nuggets for second. Houston hosts the Nuggets later this month, have already beaten them twice. Half of the Rockets' remaining 16 games are against teams with a losing record.
All right, so let's get into it now. What's been the key to this stretch for the Rockets? A lot of people are asking. Now in these final games, they're looking to finish strong. Right now, they're playing so well across the board, offensively, and really defensively is not getting enough credit right now.
Well, one thing we should note, those are some of those teams with losing records that the Rockets will be facing over this stretch coming up, and they're all at home. And if they take care of their business there, which they've been doing since the All-Star break, Lakers game notwithstanding, they'll be in fine shape.
Well, last week we talked about what we thought each of our keys were to them playing well, and I said the health, and you said Eric Gordon, and both of those things are panning out and proving to be exactly what is taking them on this 8-game win streak.
Kenneth Faried will return during this homestand, and Eric Gordon led the team in scoring. It's the first time in the last 44 games that James Harden's played that he didn't lead the team in scoring. If anybody else does, that means they're in good shape like they were tonight.
I think everybody's on pins and needles, though. You mentioned the health there of this basketball team. Can everybody stay in one piece come playoff time? That's a big question. Last couple of years, they've had issues. Big question now that really matters. Can this version of the Rockets, let's just face it, can they beat the Golden State Warriors in a 7-game playoff series should they meet? What do you guys think?
Yeah, they beat them without James Harden how long ago? And they're not, as long as they stay healthy,
yep.
I'm going to put that asterisk on it. If Chris Paul and all the other big pieces stay healthy, absolutely they can beat the Warriors.
It's kind of weird that the Warriors have been in this funk for almost maybe a whole month now, losing again tonight to the Suns. They're showing that they're beatable. But I'm just not buying the team we see today as the Suns team the Warriors team we're going to see in the playoffs. But I still believe what I believed last year. The team in the West that has the best chance to beat them is still Houston.
I definitely agree, and I want to see what these Warriors, they need motivation right now. And for them, they're used to winning the championships. When postseason arrives, we'll see if we see a different basketball team. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, still to come on Sports Sunday. We're just getting warmed up. Carlos Correa going all out today over in West Palm Beach. We'll take a look at the Astros in action. Plus, is Dallas Keuchel, a reunion possibly on the horizon? We'll find out.
Also coming up, it'll be time to talk to free agents in just over 12 hours for the Texans. Their primary objective should be crystal clear. You must protect this guy, old number 4.
And has UT blown its chance at the NCAA tournament? Is Shaka Smart on the hot seat? We'll discuss all that and more in college basketball, so stick around. Welcome back. Before we head out to West Palm Beach to check on the Astros in spring training, here are some of the biggest headlines of the week, starting with Antonio Brown. He was in a search for a new team. That search is now over, as he announced via social media. As a result, he is the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. The Steelers finally agreed to a trade, and he is now a Raider. A 3-year deal for more than $50 million. And how about Gardner Webb? They will be taking a trip to the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history. Check out this celebration after a 76-65 win over Radford to win the Big South tournament. And last stop is right here in Houston, as the U of H team, the hoops team, is making history. So is the track team. This is the men's 4x400 meter relay, placing first at the indoor track and field championships. Now overall they placed second, and that is the highest finish in program history.
All right, from that, let's take you out to Florida. Check in with the Astros, taking on the Nationals today. Third spring appearance for the new addition to the rotation. Wade Miley had a couple of strikeouts, gave up a couple of runs, but pitched into the 4th inning. He was pleased about that. Check out Carlos Correa. He's done this a few times already in the spring games. Great defensive play. All out and made the throw across the diamond. Kyle Tucker nearly knocked one out of the yard, settled for an RBI double. Astros fall today 6-4. All right, Wade Miley signing it. Thought to me Dallas Keuchel definitely not returning, but the former Cy Young winner remains unsigned. Ken Rosenthal reporting the other day the Astros have made not only one and 2-year offers to Keuchel, but not in the range he is seeking at this point. All right, brings us to what's trending, the stories that have folks talking throughout the sports world. And let's begin with Mr. Dallas Keuchel. What do y'all make of him being unsigned at this point? And should the Astros perhaps up their offer to keep him in Houston? What do you think?
I think they probably should. I don't know that they can be sold on the rest of the rotation still. They don't have a 5th starter named yet, probably Peacock. Right. Colin McHugh, back soreness, didn't pitch particularly well in his start. And I like Wade Miley, but I don't know that I'm sold on Wade Miley.
If I'm Keuchel, at this point, I'd probably want to go back to the Astros, somewhere you know well, somewhere you're valued. And, I mean, I'd be getting anxious if I'm him, waiting around. These starting pitchers need experience in these spring training games before they can just jump into the season. At this point, he's kind of getting behind the 8 ball here.
Yeah, he worked out for a while over at Rice and went out to the West Coast. He's just waiting for that phone to ring from his agent. Hey, we got a deal. We got a deal. We'll see what happens with Dallas Keuchel in the direction the Astros go. NFL free agency, we mentioned earlier, it begins officially tomorrow. Plenty to work on for the Texans. What should be their number one priority? A lot of things, a lot of issues with this team they need to shore up. What's number 1 on your list, Laney?
Well, I told you on Facebook Live, y'all thought I was maybe a little bit dramatic with this, but I say Le'Veon Bell. Why not? Go after him, get him. I think that would be a big step to show that they're investing in making this team a Super Bowl championship team right now, not later.
And one thing that might do is help the protection for Deshaun Watson. You've got to either add weapons or both add offensive linemen, and that's what I was teasing headed into this segment. It's unthinkable if they don't go after an offensive lineman in free agency and the draft that can step right in for guys that honestly shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, you need, because the guys you're going to draft, let's face it, they're going to need time to adjust. You need a veteran that can make some plays and open some holes on that offensive line and not wait for a guy to develop.
Well, they got 3 picks in the top 55. If that first pick at 23 is an offensive lineman, put it in pen. He starts day 1.
And then secondary helps, also high on the list for many people. You got to shore that area up as well. Find out who you're bringing back and what areas need to be.
The secondary deck is going to be completely shuffled from last year to this year.
All right. Hey, this week also the start of several more conference tournaments on the hardwood. I love this time of the year. And the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City starts later this week. It's going to be a big one for UT. I know you Longhorn fans are out there. Are you nervous right now? They're squarely on the NCAA bubble. They've got Kansas looming in the first game on Thursday night. Are they one and done?
Yes, but that's also coming from someone whose mom went to Kansas and has been a diehard Jayhawk basketball fan my whole life.
Okay.
Now, I
got the history for sure.
I understand what's going on here, and I can't help but think, how big is this bubble? Did I miss the announcement that the tournament field is now 96 teams? I'm sorry. I am a Longhorn. I went to Texas. They're not a good basketball team, and their best player hasn't been there for the last 2 weeks. They're not getting any better. They're about to be a 500 team. Teams that lose half their games don't go to the tournament.
Like 10 days ago, a lot of these guys that do the bracket projections had them like as a 9 seed, and I was looking at like, how are they a 9 seed?
Well, we're looking at these highlights from TCU yesterday in Texas House. TCU's on a bubble team. They beat them badly in Texas House.
We're going to find out starting Thursday in Kansas City. Texas gets Kansas in the first game. Hey, stay with college hoops. LSU won the SEC regular season crown, ranked in the top 10, but all is not well in Baton Rouge. Head coach Will Wade suspended. So too is star freshman Javonte Smart. A lot going on, reportedly, allegedly, behind the scenes there in the recruitment of Smart.
Let's go ahead and roll that tape where Will Wade's talking about what they shouldn't be talking about.
All recorded.
He's not going to coach another game at LSU, and I don't know where after that.
I just always hate when these situations happen in the middle of a successful season, because those are two, really only one part with the coach. I'm not going to blame the kid, but those are 2 people involved out of all these other people who have put in all this hard work, and it really does stink for the program.
And here we are on the verge of the tournament, the big tournament as well, and this is going on there at LSU. We finish up real quickly before we run out of time with some J-Lo and A-Rod news. Is it about time?
What a power couple.
Did this happen?
Don't be fooled by the rock that she's got.
And there it is.
A little reference to J-Lo song, right?
I mean, that thing, is that even a diamond or a ring? Like, that is huge.
So is
I'm
it
sure it's very
J-Lo
expensive.
or J-Rod? What
It's
are
like
we
a flat
going
screen
with?
TV on her finger. I love it.
He can afford
They're
it.
made for each other. That's
She
a
can
perfect
afford
couple
it.
right there. All right, still ahead on Sports Sunday. The U of H baseball team capped off a great day for the Cougars overall for UH Sports. We'll take you there to see who had the walk-off honors against Army. Great finish at U of H.
Also, we roll out the Sports Sunday Top 5, all from the state tournament. Sports Sunday returns in 2 minutes.
The look back of the pitch. Davis, fly ball to right field, going back is Titus, goes back. Oh, they call it a home run! Joe Davis, a walk-off home run!
That's how it ended over at Schroeder Park today. Joe Davis with the honors, 2-run walk-off in the bottom of the 9th inning to complete the sweep. Let's hold on right quick. He's going to come to home. This is the best part. He gets mobbed at home plate right there after they wrap up the series with Army.
I love it. Over in West U, Matt Braga's Rice Owls with a rubber match against OU today. Top of the 4th, check out Braden Como, full extension to rob the Sooners of a hit. Keeps the Owls down just 2. But Rice just couldn't solve Levi Prater. He throws in 8 shutout innings. Owls lose 6-0.
Boys State Tournament in San Antonio, sensational. 3 Houston teams made their trips, and in their 4 games, they all held a fourth quarter lead, but Yates in 4A, North Shore in 6A came up short in their semis. Only Klein Forest able to advance, and they looked good doing it. Looked like a state champ as they dominated the second half of their semifinal game Friday night to get within a win of their first state title, playing in that game last night against Duncanville, and they had a 10-point lead early in the state final and still led with 2 minutes remaining before Calvin Solomon fouled out. They saw their chances slip away to Duncanville. That Duncanville team featured former Dekaney star Micah Peavy. He's an elite 2020 recruit who has U of H among his final 5 choices. A very emotional loss for the Golden Eagles.
It's tough for our kids, and it's definitely tough for me. You know, it was a great game. They're a great team. We're a good team, and it came down to the end there, and it happens.
Coach Black he's a really good coach. He runs a great system. You're not going to play a Kerry Black team and walk out with an easy win. He's always going to make you work.
No shortage of great plays the weekend in San Antonio, so the all-UIL State Tourney edition of the Plays of the Week.
Looks like man-to-man. A nice reverse layup by Antoine Norman.
Forest defense in, but missing it underneath. There's a tip-in, however.
What dexterity by Solomon. That was a fantastic tip-in with the left hand.
Van is looking over to McCurdy. McCurdy hits the three-pointer. Oh, my gosh. Liberty Hill wins the game on the buzzer shot.
In the hands of Bruce Scott. Up the floor. Somehow banked home by KJ Smith. How did he pull that off? 10-point lead. Put up a prayer, and it was answered.
3 seconds inside. A slam dunk for a state championship. Jordan Walsh puts it in.
Okay, so free agency officially starts tomorrow. Texans are on the clock.
Start talking. We got Rockets tomorrow night looking for win number 9 in a row.
And I'm told we are out of time. Thanks for staying up late with us.